With the Chargers OTAs wrapped up and training camp less than a month away, it appears that the experiment of sorts with Zion Johnson playing center is a real thing. He got most of the reps at center in OTAs. He got more reps than any other center in camp. So will Zion Johnson be the center, and can he play the position in 2025? Let's get into it. So despite the fact that they brought Bradley Bozeman back on a 2-year deal, and they even brought Andre James in for competition of sorts at the center position, Zion Johnson has been getting most of the reps, or the lion's share of the reps at center in OTAs and minicamp. So that begs the question of whether or not the Chargers would have going to move forward with him playing center full time. I would like to argue yes. I mean, you don't want to spend those type of reps, those quality reps and that quality time with your offense and your personnel without it being a real thing, right? So Zion is been the left guard for the last couple of years. He played right guard his first year, left guard for the last 2. And now in his 4th year with the Chargers, he's quote unquote trying out at center, or maybe he's moving there completely. So that begs the question of whether or not he can actually do the job. Now, I'll be honest with you. I have my reservations about this particular move. I've said from the beginning, if you've been watching me in coverage since we started this channel, late spring, you know that I have trepidation about Zion playing center. I argue that I have trepidation about him playing left guard as well, but I think he's better at left guard than he is at center for my money, you know. And I'll give you credence as to why. He has not been great at pass protection in general. And to put the pressure on him of playing center is more pressure than I think he's needing in this moment in time. I think he really needs to hone in on his skill set and get right at playing the interior lineman position at guard rather than playing center, which is way more scrutiny, way more pressure, way more responsibility. So with that being said, I wonder what they see in this particular move and how they feel like this is going to work better than with the options that they have in camp as a whole. Andre James is there, former Raiders center. He actually played center in this league for quite some time. I wonder why him or Bradley Bozeman, who I'm not high on either, in all honesty, is not getting more reps or getting more looks at the center, and why they believe Zion is going to be the answer. Again, you know, there are the gurus, they are the masterminds of these particular things, right? But, you know, I don't see it from from my football mind, my football personality, my experience in the game, and I'm just questioning exactly what the secret sauce is here, because I don't see it. I really don't. But just talking about Zion as a whole, can this particular experiment work? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. My solution would have been to play Andre James at center and play him at guard and leave Bradley Bozeman out of it altogether. Because if you combine Andre James, Zion Johnson, and Bradley Bozeman, I think Bradley Bozeman is the worst out of the 3, in all honesty. I get that he's a really good run blocker, but I think that's where it stops. I'm not sure if I really give him any credence or really any accolades for playing center at a high level, being a really a good quarterback of the O-line. I've never seen that. I didn't see that at the Ravens. I didn't see it with the Panthers, and I didn't see it with the Chargers. The interior O-line pressure for the Chargers last year was a big-time problem, and it's the reason why they struggled in stretches. Between the receiving core and the interior O-line pressure was the biggest stigmas and the biggest problems the Chargers had in 2024. So that has to get improved. It has to change. Now, you went out and got my guy back, and I understand that is definitely a big-time upgrade from Trey Pipkins. It is. But the other side of the line, the center and the left guard position, is still questionable. It's still questionable. And with those two weaknesses and glaring weaknesses that teams will see, they're going to hone in on that. They're going to pressure and put their best people on those guys and make mismatches wherever they can. So what are we going to do here? So is Zion an answer? I'm not sure. And again, giving credence to his history, right? Let's talk about the facts real quick. In the past 3 seasons, his pass protection has been porous. His last year of 2024 was his best year, and that's not saying much. If you're talking about just playing the left guard or interior line position and as a whole. So in 2024, he had a PFF grade of 62.4. I think 70% or higher is giving credence to a solid year, and he is 8 points under that, 62.4. In 2023, where he also played left guard, he had a 58.8 rating as a whole. It's even lower than his 2024 campaign. And in 2022, it's even worse than that. It was 52.8. So you glean with that from what you made, but he was not great at pass protection. On top of the fact that I'm just going to speak to you from a football standpoint and football mindset, Zion has a real big time issue with moving his feet. You know, they say in the league between skill positions and linemen, slow feet don't eat. And Zion has a real big time problem with moving his feet. He's a really big, powerful, massive guy. He's really good in the run game, but he has big time issues with moving his feet. You can see him get beat with savvy and elusive and finesse style interior rushers because he cannot or will not move his feet properly. And that's been his biggest issue and his biggest sticking point when it comes down to his ability to play the position at interior guard, right guard, left guard, or center. So you're going to tell me as a football purist that he's going to be better off at center, where that is the most nuanced and most, I guess you can say, pressure, keg of position. It was a pressure cooker of a position, and playing center in this NFL league here is the most important position in the entire O-line. He's going to be able to play that, in all honesty. Now, mind you, another hard-nosed fact is he's never played center in his life. Not in college, not in the pros. Now, he did in Boston College play left tackle at 1 year. Now, and what I gleaned from that is he played left guard his first year. He played center, left tackle the second year. In his third year, they moved back to left guard. That tells me that he was so bad at left tackle, that they moved him back to left guard. Maybe they only had to move him left tackle because they have no better options. But putting him at tackle was a problem as well. So that tells me right then and off they don't like his footwork. So they're moving back at guard where he's better off. Again, extremely powerful mover in the run game, but he has issues with moving his feet in pass pro. So that's a big time sticking point for me. You have to take that in consideration. Never played center, played left tackle once before, mostly left guard, and he's not the greatest pass blocker in that particular aspect of it. And again, I don't want to just rain down complete and utter negativity on him, but those are the facts. And you got to look at it from this particular position. The center position is the most important position on the line. It's very underrated. Teams that win and win a lot have great centers. The Eagles, the Chiefs, the Packers for a good long while with Corey Linsley, and we had him for a little while. Now, O-line was probably the best it has been when Corey Linsley was at center. I think we all know that. We've been watching Chargers football for a while. So when you have a good center, we can run down a list. Drew Dahlman, Josh Myers. You can run down a list of anybody that has a really good center. The offense moves swimmingly, moves seamlessly. But if you don't have that particular aspect of it, you struggle because they have to call out the line calls. They have to call out the adjustments. They have to get the line in order. He is the quarterback of the particular O-line. You have your quarterback and do all that good stuff, if he's savvy enough. But you put more pressure on your quarterback to do it when the center can't. And the center would likely see things, in certain cases where the quarterback may not. So they got to be good at that particular aspect of it. And I'm not sure that Bradley Bozeman or Zion is fit for it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like I said, it takes real football IQ to be a center in this league. You got to know your P's and Q's. And if you never played a position before, trying to do that in your last year of your contract, it's a better, it's telling. It's telling. I think this is the last ditch effort for me. This is fact 4 for me. I think the Chargers, by not picking up his 5th year option, telling me that it's a make or break year. They're giving him all the opportunities and all the chances they can and see if he can be predominantly good with this team. If he can't, they're going to let him walk. So them not picking up the 5th year option, they're moving him to center. They're trying to give him any and all means and possibilities to be good in this particular regime of 2025. But we'll see. Again, I'm just telling it, from a football in a realistic standpoint that these things are real issues. They're real issues. So can he improve on that? Will he improve on that in 2025? It remains to be seen. But I think they could go with a different option, with a better option. And I'll break that news in a minute and who I think the O-line should be for 2025. But I don't know. I think they're just trying to do whatever possible to give this first round pick is all the chances possible to be able to stick on his team and get a new deal. Because if he doesn't, it's going to be rough sledding for him to get a new deal from anybody else. Because again, good in the run game, but his pass blocking is left a lot to be desired. And that tells me how they feel about him, because they didn't go out in big game hunting for another center. Drew Dahlman was in free agency, a great center, one of the higher rated centers in the league, coming from the Falcons. He was a free agent. And the guy I talked about in my shorts about Josh Myers, going out and get Josh Myers. And the Packers don't do nothing else. They're going to draft and develop O-linemen. And Josh Myers was the, I guess you can say, successor to Corey Linsley. And he played there for 4 years before he moved on and went to the Jets. Now, mind you, he went to the Jets for $3.5 million on a one-year deal. You can't sit here and tell me the Chargers weren't willing to at least bring him in to compete at center for that type of money. I'd have gave him 2 years at that clip if he wanted to play in LA. And Josh Myers is a good, really good center for the Packers. And I think he's gonna put pressure on Tippmann in New York with the Jets to play center. They might even move Tippmann to guard and let him play center. That would be my guess. But yet again, I don't see why they didn't go out there, Drew Dahlman on the big time money in to solidify that position to help Justin Herbert out glowingly. Leave Zion at left guard, let him play out that last year and see if he can make his hay there, or go out and get Josh Myers at a cheaper rate just to try him out. If you want to give Bradley Bozeman the type of money you gave him out of some type of sense of loyalty from his brother John playing with him playing with the Ravens, why not give it to younger Josh Myers? I would have given Josh Myers that money in a heartbeat and on a 2 years clip and not left Bradley Bozeman out the pasture. I'm just gonna be honest, but that's just me. So them not going out and getting another center to compete, and that was in the free agency market, and just bringing in Andre James, who we hadn't heard of at all throughout OTA's minicamp. It's telling to me. But just from an experience standpoint, this is what I would do, and now we're going to end with this. Is that I would honestly and truly, if Andre James is my most experienced, most pass protecting friendly center in this particular regime on this roster right now, I'm going to play Andre James at center. I'm going to play Andre James center. I think he's going to be built to, lead and quarterback this particular O-line and get them going the right way. Leave Zion on left guard, let him be the, I guess you can say, stalwart next to him. And just let it be. So I got Rashad Slater at left tackle. I got Zion at left guard. I got Andre James at center, Mekhi Becton at right guard, and Joe Alden at right tackle. And I'm comfortable with that. Again, as long as Andre James can pass protect, those other four behemoths can make up for the shortcomings he has in the run game. I would be way, way more comfortable with protecting Justin Herbert with that O-line than anybody else that we have on the roster currently. So, again, I have my doubts and have my trepidations and my angst about Zion playing center, but we'll see how things work. I hope that Harbaugh is right about this and I'm wrong, but the numbers bear out what they bear out, and I'm not confident that Zion not only can pass protect well at center, can he honestly and truly quarterback this line and get them moving in the right clip and this team competitive and protecting Justin the way he needs to be protected in 2025. But let me know in the comments how you feel about this and all things going on with Chargers news, man. And like I said, all week we're going to be dropping content in regards to training camp and what things are going to be the biggest question marks going into the 2025 season. So hit that subscribe button as always. Let me know how you feel about this content. And as always, you got to remember to bolt up.